The Left Wing Coffee House, Carlisle Street, Soho, London, was a legendary venue. It was a coffee house devoted and founded to promote the cause of left-wing politics. It served coffee, simple but good food, also had a performance space where poetry, folk music, jazz was presented on a regular basis. The clientele were in general young. An illustrious list of aficionados that included famous names: John Berger, Richard Hoggart, Doris Lessing, Arnold Wesker, Christopher Logue. It only lasted a few years, but had an enormous influence. They even made a program about it on Panorama. Rumour has it also that the special branch used to send very identifiable people to mingle with the clientele and to listen to conversations. Well, one day I was sitting in the Left Wing Coffee House, and another regular client was a poet called Iris Orton. She worked for the British Council, as far as I'm aware, but in fact was well known as a poet and in fact a regular face on the Soho scene. So I'm sitting there minding my own business, and Iris wanders over to me and said, "Peter, I have just written a poem called The Creation of the World, and I heard your trombone in the first 10 stanzas. Well, on the basis of being heard in the first 10 stanzas of the epic Creation of the World, I was booked to do a jazz and poetry gig at some point about 6 weeks on from this particular conversation. Jazz and poetry, in fact, was quite a notable activity at that time. Christopher Logue, I remember, did a famous one called Redbird on Ivory Keys, and various other people experimented with this. Some good musicians and kind of people around the scene, but some really quite notable musicians were involved in the jazz and poetry scene. So the night arrives, and it was a bit in the basement as far as I remember, and the place was absolutely packed to the gills. You couldn't get in. To be absolutely frank with you, it was something I couldn't really take wholly seriously, but I was being paid for it, so I needed to have a certain seriousness of attitude. Basically, the musician was supposed to play phrases and little bits of tunes and a kind of free jazz behind the poet who was declaiming at the front of the stage. And this I did. The audience seemed to absolutely love it. They were glued to their seats, and as promised, in fact, by Iris Orton, my trombone was actually heard in the first 10 stanzas of Creation of the World. The whole performance was finished to great acclaim from the audience. Great acclaim. It was really only my foray into jazz and poetry. I did occasionally do such things in the north of England, particularly I remember one occasion in Hebden Bridge, but it wasn't part of my regular music activities. The Left Wing Coffee House and jazz and poetry was redolent of that particular and very interesting period in British cultural and musical history. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please subscribe.